Hey, morning everyone. Welcome to another little helpful video from Freesat Spares. We sell all things satellite and Freesat for the UK market. Today we are going to look at remote control maintenance. Essentially, when your buttons stop working on your remote, the chances are there's probably a build-up of gunk, for want of a better word, inside the remote. So this is my own personal remote from my bedroom TV. No reason for it to have any gunk in it, but it is 5 years old, so something's happened. Sometimes the gunk is human made, sort of oils from our skin, etc. And sometimes it's like a breakdown of the rubber pads or just moisture that gets in there. Remote controls are very simple. All remote controls are going to be different. You need something like this to pick them apart. Quite often they'll have a single screw in, and the circuit board itself is pretty basic. The chip that does all the business, infrared transmitter, sometimes there's two because they are universal and have a receiver, and then a circuit board with lots of conductive cross-link pads. When you push down on these buttons, these tiny little wires or traces here make a connection which sends the right address signal to do what you need to do. Now, the reason I'm repairing this instead of buying a £6 replacement or £20 replacement, whatever cost it might be, is I can't seem to find the exact one on the market anymore. Namely, my Philips TV has this extra row of buttons here. Not that I use them, but when I've tried to use other Philips remotes, I'm losing some functions, or I've got to go through 10 different menu steps instead of just pressing a single button. All we're going to use today, as I said, we've popped this apart by running the this blade along the edge and just click, 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 pop, pop, pop. Hopefully everything will click back together when we're done. And you can see this shininess on this remote. There's I don't know what it is. It feels slightly oily, so I'm assuming it's like skin oils or something. We're going to use a toothbrush, trusty old IPA, clean everything up, and then maybe what I might use first, actually, it's not going to do it any harm, is just a generic disinfectant wipe. Now, the reason you can use various other specialist wipes, but to be honest, the initial clean, as long as your power's disconnected, you're not really going to cause any issue. As you can see, there's a yellowing to this. This is the main reason I use this, just to show you. Like there is something on the board. It's like a yellowing, horrible sort of oil or something that's got on there. So we give that a wipe. Honestly, if that's all you've got, you'd probably be golden with that. Let it dry and put it back together. But we're going to be a bit more professional about it. And then we're going to wipe all the oils and things that have collected off here. Better if you can use lint-free cloths, because then you don't get all the fibres lying around. Once we've done this, we are going to wash it over with a bit of IPA. If you find that you've got gunk all caught up in these holes on the remote, just brushing them down with a brush just to get the loose bits out, you can see bits dropping out there, is normally good enough. If your remote's really old and you've been using it while you eat dinner and things, then yeah, you're going to need to do something a bit more. Let's just wipe the inside of this frame as well. It's not really going to make a huge difference, but while we're here, might as well. You can see the buttons you use the most do get, even, I go to bed, I don't eat in my bed. I always wash before bed, so this is just a collection of gooch, as the greatest IT technician in the world always says. Is it worth doing this? We do offer repair services for remotes on our website, but generally when we do it, it's really about those rare remotes that you just can't get, or ones that are really expensive. Like, I would say, thinking about ones like the Panasonic original remotes, they could be 40 quid to buy a replacement, so definitely worth doing repair work on them. If it really is gunked up in here, soak your front panel in some hot water and washing up liquid and give it a scrub again. That's all you need to do, really. We're not looking perfection. If I was looking to resell this or something, I would go a bit further. But yeah, you can see all that. Oh, I shouldn't have left that there. Yeah, so you can see it's actually, the rubber's not terrible. Next thing, I'm going to use IPA, scrub it across again, use a brush first, then maybe some lint-free cloths. What I find is really good is the pads that people who do nail bars and people that do paint their nails, I find the pads they use really good. I've probably got some somewhere. I might pause the video and get some. But we're going to flood that over with some IPA. Just give this frame another clean. And then we're going to... IPA will dry within seconds if your room's warm enough. What some people will find, and it happens on devices time to time, these rubber conductive pads, essentially they've got a coating on them that makes them conductive. That can wear out on really old remotes. So you need something called conductive paint, which I should have here. So if you are finding that it doesn't work even when you put it back together, you can probably dab a tiny, this has got a little brush in it, you dab a tiny dot onto the bit that isn't working. So you just go like that. It takes quite a while to dry that, probably 2 to 3 hours in a lot of conditions. So you just dab it on there, let it dry, and then you can put your remote back together and it should get that button working. Right, let me pause the video and grab some of these lint-free pads I use. Okay, well, it looks like I've run out of those pads. So I've got a lint-free cloth that I've got free with my last pair of glasses that I brought. So I'm just going to give everything a wipe over, and I'm probably going to clean this twice once it's dry. Again, lint-free just means it's not going to leave any little fibres lying around the place. If you find this is really bad, a couple of other options. You can put all of these rubbers and plastics in a soap bath. There's no problem. Just don't put this bit in a soap bath. You can see there's a bit of gooch there. A tiny bit of moisture won't make any difference, but from something like this, a wet cleaning cloth, but soaking it in water will probably get water under this sealed button unit and things like that, and that is not what you want to do. For my remote control, volume and power on off were becoming an issue, and channel change, so I'm really hoping they get back working once we do them. Other things you can use, contact cleaner. It's a bit more aggressive than IPA, but again, for these sort of low-level electronics, probably not going to do any harm. You may find electrical contact cleaner is generally good on all materials, but some cheaper plastics, it might start to degrade it. Yeah, so definitely think about what you're doing and find an appropriate chemical to use. And some of you might say, well, why are you wearing gloves? Well, I'm just at home. It's just a home project. Though I do deal with this sort of thing all the time, this is just for my own amusement and fun, because it's my own remote control. Right. So just to review, you're going to need a little plastic or metal spodger to separate the plastics. You're going to need something like IPA and a brush to brush it all clean. And then we're just going to inspect the board quickly. All looks good. No major signs of any water ingress. Does it feel a bit sticky? A little bit. A little bit, maybe. Tell you what, just for fun, as this you know, it doesn't really matter if I ruin it, as it's my own one. Let's try some some electrical contact cleaner. Like I said, this is a bit more aggressive and does clean away. IPA isn't very good at getting through grease. It's okay, it will cut through some of the grease, but it's not like washing up liquid or an anti-surfactant that might do a bit better. You might find with electrical contact cleaner you get a white residue. Nothing to worry about. Normally, what do we think? Is that going to be enough? Should we put it back together and find out? So like I said, it's these buttons that have really stopped working correctly. So that's the main ones I'm worried about. You can see a bit of grime and stuff in between that. So if you have got buttons that are close together or sealed, you can use a little flat edge. Look at that. Lovely. This isn't going to affect the operation of it. It's just for my own my own self-awareness and worth, to make sure I'm doing an okay job on my own equipment. Right, let's pop it back together. Yeah, we're all right. Everything's dry. So which way up does it go? One of the things to note is quite often you have locating holes to put these back in. Well, that's not the right one. There we go. We've still got a bit of dampness in this. Let's just pick that out and then dry it. The dampness is the IPA. It's not really going to do any harm in the long term. And I am going to do this. We have obviously got another video online that shows you how to see if your remote is working or not, which is a great little tutorial just using your smartphone camera. And that's it really. That is the be all and end all of that clean. We will pop this case back together. The way this remote came apart was really, it just had a little screw there in the back. And then luckily enough, you could pop it up from under the battery console, and that stopped you sort of causing damage down the side of the unit, which you can do. Right, so are we going to get a purple light? No. Oh, have I even put the batteries in correctly? Yeah. I could have completely ruined this. Should we try some different batteries? Alright, we're back. I think I rushed that a bit. I didn't actually get the rubber pads slotted in properly, but here we go. You can now see purple lights. That was the on button that wasn't working properly. Channel up, down, volume up, down, all active as I expect them to be now. Oh, need to put the little screw back in. Have I lost it? Probably. No, it's tiny. You can see how big it is there. Will my big screwdriver allow me to put it in without putting my micro set on it? Yes, there we go. So, there we go. Quick, simple way of cleaning and repairing your remote controls. If you need any spares for your TVs, FreeSat, satellite equipment, UView, Sky TV, we've got it all on our website, freesatspares.co.uk. Hope to see you there soon. And if you look in the description of this video, you should find a discount code.